Stay.
Yeah.
Giddy FC.
Here we go.
Giddy FC. Here we go. How we doing, Giddy Army? How we doing? Big up to the people in here, man. Please smash a like on the video. It costs you absolutely nothing, man. Make sure you, after this finishes, if those of you not tuned in and watched Straight Jacket podcast, we've gone into it. We've broke it down. We've got to the crux of the matter. So Saeed's 300 shot of 50, and you know it's going to be a party when we get there. So big up Saeed, man. Big up Tom for joining me. Saeed, how are you?
Not bad, mate. It's a crazy day, man. I started off taking my umbrella because it was absolutely piling down with rain, and then halfway through it's absolute scorching, and then I'm like, what, should I throw this umbrella in the alleyway? I was like, no, I gotta keep this. I kept it. I come out, next thing you know, it's absolutely pissing it down. So I've been all over the place. We've been like Man United, innit? Up and down, mate. Up and down.
You know what I mean? Like a roller coaster, mate.
Exactly, mate. So you know what? It's but it's good nonetheless. I'm all good. My leg's better now. It's getting there. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I missed the Youth Cup final. So big up to all the Youth Cup finalists, the kids. It was unbelievable feeling for them to get that trophy. I was so happy because Nottingham Forest were a good team, man. And big up to them, man. There should not have been a penalty, but listen, we don't care. We don't care.
For the season we've had,
we don't care.
We deserve it.
Exactly.
We deserve it.
Listen,
mate.
Tom, how are you? How are you doing, Tom? You good?
Yeah, not bad, lads. Not bad.
How's it in sunny Sheffield? Is it raining today? Or was the weather all right?
No, it was actually all right. To be fair, I was surprised.
You see?
Listen, I took the big jacket and everything.
Yeah.
You throw the jacket in the car and everything. You get in at like 8:30 in the morning. Go to work.
Yeah.
Then you actually get there. You come out. It's boiling hot.
There we go.
Do you know when you get in the car and you don't put any of the windows down before, and it's absolutely scorching. It's like a sauna in there.
Yeah.
You've got to put the windows down like 5 minutes before you go. That's how bad weather is. Anyway.
Mate. Always like that. Always.
It's always the way it is, isn't it? Listen, big up to American Arsenal fan. Saeed's begging Saeed here, says like how to show you, man, love as always. Please don't cuckoo all of us, Saeed. Certain man in our fan base deserve it because they can't face the truth. Hopefully, I can talk to you guys one day.
Yeah, man, love,
Listen,
man.
you can
Love.
Listen,
Always, man. Always.
but trust me, some of your fan base are getting cooked if you lose tonight. It's win or bust for your boys.
Win or bust.
But
All
listen,
or nothing. You know when they said that
it's all or nothing, mate. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Listen. So the title of the show that I went for is about Eric Tenhag. It's about the fans' expectations.
Yep.
It's about the patience with him.
Yeah.
And the fact that one man can't fix Man United. This ain't a Tenhag rebuild.
Absolutely.
This is a Man United rebuild. And we are on our fourth rebuild in how many years? In a decade? That's too many rebuilds for me. But big up to every one of you. Big up man like Alien Tedo. Big up Tom. Big up Khalees. Big up everybody, man, in the space. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, people. We're not road to 10,000. I know it's a high expectation, but you know what? I expect nothing from the therapy army, man.
We can do it.
I expect nothing because I'm telling you, the content. What I watch, what's available out there, we keep it 100 people. No big agendas here. The only agenda is we want Jim Radcliffe to take over Man United. That's the only agenda. Because that means the Glazers will be out.
Is Manchester born?
Yeah, he's from Oldham originally.
He is. He's from Oldham. Yeah, correct.
He's from near Oldham, anyway. He's just on the outskirts of Manchester.
You need to go get him, man. We need to go find him.
The man, apparently, he's 17 billion. He's worth.
Wow.
Just you know what? You're in your 70s. Just crack a 5 billion there to the Glazers, man. And then
he wanted to buy. You know, Nuruddin. Let me just state the fact. He wanted to put in a bid of 4.6 billion when we lost 2-0 after Burnley game, and there was all that about the Saudi prince and everything, wasn't there? At that particular time, he wanted that. It was when the Glazer family was considering selling. Not that they'd put the club up for sale, but that's when they were considering. He was prepared to put 4.6 down, but they said no, we want 5 billion. And they weren't going to budge. They weren't going to entertain anything else other than 5 billion. So anyway, it was 5 billion or bust, and he wasn't prepared to pay it. Not in the middle of a season, anyway. When you buy a football club, you want to do something with it. In the midst of it, you want a window. You want a transfer window. You want to do something to show what you actually want to do. That's like what Todd Bowley's trying to do at Chelsea. I know there's a couple of complications and everything. I've heard.
Did you see that news, by the way? Did you see that?
Yeah,
news?
It's nothing major, Said. It's only something to do with it's only something to do with the finances from Abramovich and everything. That's the only difference. But anyway, it's something like with Todd Bowley. You know what he's going to do this summer? What into to get the fans on side. Get the open checkbook out. Right, who's on the market that the Chelsea fans have wanted for years? Right, let's go and get Koundé. We haven't been able to get him. Let's go and get Tchouaméni. Let's go and get all these brilliant young players that Tuchel wants and stuff. Open checkbook. That's how you start off a football club, isn't it? Or get fans on side. They did it with us last year. The Glazer family did it with us last year.
Yeah, they did.
The Super League, they had to do something. What is the way that you can get people back on side? You bring in a world-class youngster who many people have wanted for years in Sancho. You get him. You bring in Rafael Varane, won everything there is to win in the game. Successful partnership at Real Madrid with Sergio Ramos. You get him. Then you bring back Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, won pretty much everything in the game bar a World Cup. And you never know what might happen at Christmas time. But listen, these are the points that we always make about the same thing. Ownership is always going to be the problem at this football club. Absolutely. It has been for years. Yep. These are the people who employ the likes of your Matt Judge, your Richard Arnold. So before you start pointing blame at these people for doing their jobs, they're employed by people. They're not self-employed. Can you imagine these people working for free? Do you really think that they would be making all these, mediocre decisions and everything? And you know what boils it down to it? When a recruitment team doesn't even look at specific players in Europe, yet we know who the brilliant young players are out there. Nobody said it about Skamaka. I don't know how many times I said from when he was playing under 17s at Ajax about Jurrien Timber. I've said for so many years, a brilliant young defender who you can develop into either an inverted right back or centre back position. So there's so many, and listen, there's so many more young players out there that probably none of us even know that could fit this team in 3 or 4 years' time. But that's just Man United, isn't it? At the current stage, shambles.
But there we go. Listen, so the title goes: the fans' expectations. It's about the patience of the fan base, because the fan base, everything, he becomes the forefront of everything. We never hear about the ball. We never hear about the Glazers. The manager gets it all. We don't want to repeat those patterns we've repeated before in the past. We have to believe that he's not this guy. Can't have the magic wand. He ain't Harry Potter, mate. I'm sorry, he ain't no Harry Potter.
No,
he ain't gonna fix it all. It's a team that fixes it, and at the end of the rebuild is Man United. But anyway, big up Kelly's from Eddie Lassie, Chief United Real Therapy reporter Eric Tenhag from the 16th of May. I'm the manager of Man UFC. A lot has happened in the preparation of the new season, such as the implementation of the staff members and the squad for next season. So he wants to get on with it. We talked about it on Saeed's channel before, Saeed TV, and we said he knows there's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do.
And he knows that also there's a truncated season because it's going to be, the preseason is going to be short. The transfer window is going to be short as well, because of the Winter World Cup.
And he knows there's going to be a lot to do. So
exactly.
At the end of the day, we've got to be ready for his expectations. So and that's why for me, this the biggest summer. I don't know if you remember Tom, when Mourinho did that interview after the Europa League final. He said Mourinho knows what I want. He knows what I want. He knows what I've asked of him. Does anyone know that? Woodward. It's on Woodward. Yeah. Okay, it's Woodward, but still, he had that president that he said he knows what he wants. Man United have got to learn from their mistakes, because that summer, I believe they must have got Dalot. Who else did they get?
Lee Grant,
and Fred. Was it?
Yeah, Fred.
So end of the day, they've got to know what he wants. So end of the day, people, this summer has to be a perfect summer. We sometimes we don't strive for perfection, but it has to be perfect for what they've done this season. Tom and Nuruddin, they've got to give up perfection. Why not? Get players out and get players in. If you don't think that's manageable, then why are we?
Man United have not done that though for a decade.
But now, all of a sudden, they have to do it. There's expectation now.
Well, Murder Madness, people tell me.
Well, Murder Madness, exactly.
Yeah, so we'll see. Listen, big up Khalees. He said, Eric Tenhag on the former Man United players and their opinions. This has an influence, but I can't influence it. But it can't influence our dressing room. Maybe the criticism is bigger over there because of the Premier League is much bigger. Yeah. So at the end of the day, he's saying what he's saying. He's saying, what did he say here? Fortunately, I have a lot of baggage to cope with this. There you go. So he said he's got the Arsenal. Basically, he's coming up armed. Yeah. He's coming up armed.
They don't know me.
They don't know me. They don't know me, mate. Boy better know me, mate.
Boy better know.
Boy better know.
This was the quote that made me laugh the most. This was funny.
Yeah, Eric, I've received a WhatsApp message from some of Manchester players. Welcome to the club.
Phil Jones.
The first one, mate, Jones.
Phil Jones will be the first.
You know what Jones is doing? Jones recorded the fans in it, got us the song.
Crazy, that,
the song. and then just tweet, just send that as a voice message, just his chant.
Do you think
always believe in Jones? And it's like,
it's like,
I know he's a new manager, but listen to the fans.
Yeah, they believe. That's crazy. That Man United players can get their WhatsApps crazy, like just like that, their phone numbers. It's mad, isn't it, when you think about it?
Football is a short thing, isn't it? Eric Tenhag, I had a choice to work at different club than Man U FC, which is better foundation, but I chose Manchester United. Things have got to get addressed, and there's a lot of challenge
with a better foundation.
Of course,
that was RB Leipzig, by the way.
Shots fired, you know.
Shots fired already.
Shots fired. Rio, are you gonna tell him to shut up now, Rio? Rio, are you gonna tell that new homecoming manager? Are you gonna tell him to shut up now? Yeah. Are you gonna tell Tenhag to shut up already? Yeah. Yeah, he's speaking the truth, mate. But at the end of the day, look what he's talking. He's basically saying, read between the lines. He's saying, yo, you man should lucky to have me, mate. It's not the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm not here to lucky to have you. You lucky to have me, mate. But at the end of the day, talk is all cheap. At the end of the day, the biggest thing I want to talk about, Saeed, is the backstabbing nature of Manchester United. The backstabbing nature says the Glazers don't care. Yep. The bankers and the borders are in cahoots with agents and journalists who back the players, usually. Right? Because the players, that's why the players have to stay. So is that culture going to change? How is he the only man who's going to go and change that culture?
It's going to be, for me, it's going to take a lot of, kind of methods as well. You can't just come in there and just shouting and barking. There has to be a lot of nurturing, because these guys, again, they got the wrong type of love. You know, when you know what I mean? They didn't get the real love. They got the love where we'll buy you all this and we'll give you all this and we'll give you contracts and we'll make it like a fancy little playground for you. They got that sort of love for 2-3 years. Now it's like, and as soon as Ralph Rangnick gave them that kind of love, he's seen it. They've not took it, have they? And now he's got to change that a little bit. You know, whether people might like it or not and say it might be a little bit soft, but he has to come in there and say, listen, we're playing football now. None of this friends and, FC and all this kind of like pally atmosphere and this and that. We're here to play football first. You all are footballers. You're not PR merchants. You're not, you don't do, essays after games. That's one thing I know. There's bloody no essays after games. Imagine Ten Hag after the dressing room. And imagine this, Tom. You come out the training ground, yeah? And then the next press conference Ten Hag has to do is talking about players saying, oh, we didn't show any fight. Well, he didn't tell me that. I wish Ten Hag does that. I wish he comes in and says, nobody's writing essays anymore after games. That's one thing as well. Because I'm sick to death of it, man.
Go outside. You know you love those essays.
No, I don't love
We go again.
No,
FC.
mate, we don't go again.
By the way, for Christmas, make sure you buy him that book, We Go Again book.
We go again. No, I'm sick of books, mate.
Written by Neil Ashton.
Honestly, man, there were certain books when I was a teacher. I used to be like, "Oh, not this book again." That's another one. Honestly, man, there's them kind of books where you have to just dodge them and be like, "Right, we're not picking this one. Yeah, we'll pick this one here."
Story time. Story
time. No, I was dodging a few books, mate, because some of them were just waffling. But there's certain ones that I can just take and I'd be like, "Yeah, this one has a meaning to it." With them essays, there was no meaning to it, Nuruddin. There's no meaning to it. We go again, but then next week. For me, Bruno as well is the biggest one. He's the one that comes out and says it's not been good enough. He's another one that's been doing it for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, Maguire's not coming, but we go again. The fans don't deserve this. But then next week he puts his stinker, or the players put in a stinker. But McTominay comes in and goes, we have to have pride. But then yet doesn't want to have. He has 7 passes the whole game.
Exactly.
Where's the pride then? You've made 7 passes the whole game.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
So listen, we go through this bit by bit. So let's go to this one here. Let me just take that star of it.
Yeah.
But Derek Hannah. Here we go. So he says he needs to chose to go with different club. But we go with the flow here. Tenhag, the club and me are on the same wavelength on how I want to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's saying this is what they
promised.
We've heard it all before,
man. That's the thing.
We've heard it all before. Remember Jose when he first come in? I got the backing of the club and the owners.
I got the backing of the club and the owners.
Tenhag and Cristiano Ronaldo. It's before this is the one before. I keep missing it. But he says Tenhag Cristiano supporting his appointment interview better this way than the other way around. You know what? He's taking shots at Tenhag.
Of
Cristiano.
Course, mate.
He's a giant. He's still very ambitious. Of course, I want to keep him. He's important for them again this year. and his stats are great. He's saying for them this year. Who's he talking about?
Of course.
Who's he talking about?
Yeah.
The Glazers, mate.
The
Important
Glazers.
for them again this year.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the ball.
Yeah.
Where's your Merto madness with that one there? Look. Look at the shots. I'll read it again slowly. He's a giant. He's still very ambitious. Of course, I want to keep him. He was important. All right, sorry. He was important again this year. His stats are great, but it ain't just about stats, though.
Yeah, the game's not about stats, mate.
It's not just about stats.
Because now Ronaldo's took it over Bruno's stats.
Exactly. To Tenhag, Man UFC will not play in the Champions League next season. Painful for United, but also for me, it's a competition I'm gonna miss incredibly. Listen, we're gonna play in Europa Conference, mate. Strap in, mate.
Can't believe it. Pain.
Conference.
He goes, look what he said. Look, he said, painful for United. I don't think it is for these players. These players deserve it, mate. You know what I mean? I don't think it is, mate. You know what? He's becoming a comedy already, man. Big up to the guy, man. There's certain things I miss about Van Gaal and his press conferences. These Dutch guys are just. They're so kind of like
they don't care. They just don't care. There's none of this quotes and everything before or reading from scripts. They're just off the cuff and say what they want.
Yep.
They don't hire PR people like Ralph Hoggenstein or anybody like that to do the quotes.
Oh man!
Right. What does the ownership want me to say?
Yeah.
There's none of that.
He goes here, but also for me. You know what I mean? But it's a competition I'm going to miss incredibly. Incredibly. Because he knows you might not be in there for a while. He's up there next year, mate. I tell you that.
This is what he
says.
says.
The other one.
Yeah, he says here. But the fact that I'm going to work in the Premier League makes it up for a lot. All right. All right. Here we go. Man UFC has enormous reach worldwide, and I think I will encounter the same force fields as United, as the Ajax. Only factor 3-4 larger. That's what it's saying.
So I'm trying to say 3-4 times bigger than Ajax, which is true,
yeah.
But still, Ajax a big club, man.
Big club,
Ajax,
don't
man.
respect that, mate. That shirt means a lot worldwide, mate. To those who know football, know that Ajax shirt means a lot globally.
The way that our Barcelona playing now is a product of your Cruyff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is it. And not just that, but even before Cruyff, there's always been coaches, genius coaches, man, in Holland, and genius footballers that they've produced. To me, one of the biggest countries to have so much significance in world football, never to win the World Cup. Honestly, it's still
crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's crazy that, yeah.
Maybe this year.
They've been to 3 finals as well. It's not like they've not been to finals.
To be fair, I'm not sure about them this year because they've struggled to get into the actual thing.
Yeah.
Qualifying, yeah.
So big up. Listen, Tenhag coaching Man UFC is not a club with more structure. Tenhag Man UFC are not a club with more structure and a better foundation. There's something to gain. Woo! So let me get this right. Tenhag on coaching Man UFC.
So Tenhag
not the
choosing.
club with more structure and a better foundation. There is something to gain, and the way that it should be done as a club, I agree on that. Okay.
So it's basically talking about building a foundation. There's something to gain, and the way that this should be done, and the club and I could agree on that. So at least they're on the same terms.
Well, they said to him, innit? You know. Every manager, the promises were
and so they said so. And so they said so. That's the old saying.
They said for now, before January comes, before the next season comes.
Can we amend that?
The briefing comes out against you.
We got to change the agreement.
But likes a lot, Rory Whitwell, and I write a briefing against you, mate.
Yeah,
stabbing you in the back. So that's going to be an interesting thing. You don't know what he's walking into, honestly. Tenhag on Ajax thing. As a coach, I also very developed tremendously in that regard. The trainer must give a direction, not to be distracted by
peripheral. I can't even say that one.
Peripheral matters.
Peripheral.
On the outside. Things
that don't mean anything. Yeah.
Things that are on the outside,
Yeah.
So, as we're talking about tonight, he develops a way of playing to show that is carried out.
Yeah. So it's being consistent.
Being consistent. Being consistent perhaps is the most important requirement trainer must meet. There we go. Well, let's see if the club's consistent with you as well, pal. Let's see if you get that energy back or you're getting briefed again. Backstabbers FC, I swear to God. Tenhag, for me, the team always to the top. I drafted 11 with who I consider the most likely to win, and I can look everyone in the eye.
Easy, lad.
Easy now. Some of these eyes,
they might look at
listen,
you though.
Some of these eyes are a bit dead. I'll put it that way. Eyes are all closing. People are coming with shades, mate. You might get 11 people with shades.
McTominay doesn't open his eyes up on the pitch, so you might want to tell him to open his eyes.
Trust me, mate. They don't want to open their eyes. Listen, big up Khalees Ramadan Lassie. I think that's the last of the quotes. Big up.
Yeah, big up Khalees.
Big up Khalees for bringing us up to date.
Big up, man. Chief
all of the
reporter,
things.
man.
Yeah, Chief United.
What do you make of
reporter,
McLaren, by the way, Tom? What's your opinion? Do you think that's a good move, considering that he's not coached for a while?
Well, the way I've always seen McLaren has been as a number 2. I think he's brilliant. I think he's an assistant. I think he's an assistant. The knowledge that he has in the game around how Dutch football works, because I think a lot of people, just to give a bit of context, he actually won the league title with FC20 over in the Dutch league, and then he knows the Premier League like the back of his hand, being assistant with Ferguson and his managerial posts that he's had with such Newcastle and stuff. So he knows the league and the competition in terms of the physicality, because he's coached against teams in the league. But at the end of the day, when we've speak about McLaren and everything, and what's his qualification, what does Tenhag actually want from him? Listen, if Tenhag wants him, we have to give him what he wants at the end of the day. That's just how I see it. If he said let's go and get Jack the lad from Newcastle, he'll be a motivational speaker. Go and get them. Go and get whoever he wants. Mm-hmm. If he wants some coach we've never heard of, you go and get them. If he wants to rip the health and social department out of Manchester United and completely rebuild the medical department, let him go and do it. Let him go and put the people in place that he wants to work with at the end of the day. And the fact that he's coming here, and you know something, I think some of these coaches who are already here should be thankful that he's coming in here and he's giving them an opportunity to actually speak to him and say, right, what have you been doing here? What is your ideas then? If I were to take you on, what is your ideas? Because the only reason why he's keeping what's his name? Eric Ramsey, set piece coach. The only reason why he's going to keep him on is because Man United have never had a set piece coach, or at least not for a long, long time. And can anybody honestly in world football now? I don't know about you two. Can you honestly name another set piece coach that's in world football just off the top of your head?
Liverpool have a set piece coach and a throwing coach.
Coach, yeah. But can you name them? What are their names?
No, I don't know.
This is what I mean. Nobody knows who these people are who do these sort of these different methods of coaching. But like we say, the most important coach that you need to get in is strength and conditioning. I cannot stress that enough. Fitness, strength and conditioning. You need to get proper people who are going to drill these players. If it means you run them into the ground in pre-season, you run them into the ground at the end of the day. And if you can't cut your weight and you can't cut it at the football club, then I'm sorry, your time's up.
Exactly.
Because like we say, half of these players are going already. I hope the young players get the opportunities, especially with pre-season.
Yeah,
get some proper legs in there.
I can't wait, man, Tom. I can't wait for pre-season. Man.
Yeah. I know. Get some proper experience. Send them out to Australia and stuff where we're going and everything. Let them have an experience with a fan base and everything.
Yeah,
that's what you deserve. That's what those sort of players deserve. They deserve to go up there after their success with the Youth Cup. Some of these players, they shouldn't be allowed on the plane. I'm sorry, they shouldn't. It's an absolute disgrace. I don't know how many times they've been on a plane already this year. 4 times on holidays. In a season. Four.
Holiday FC.
No.
There we go.
I've heard more people. I've heard more people take parliamentary leave from work or have absences at work than I ever have at these people going on holiday. And you know something, right? It's 2 weeks, 2 weeks at a time.
With Ollie sending him on a 2 weeks fishing.
Exactly.
2 weeks at a time. Every international break. Four times a year, right? 4 times a year, two times for 2 weeks, right? That makes what? 8 weeks of the year. 8 weeks for 54 years.
When we had the COVID period, there was a period where I think that United could have played some of the players, but obviously, United didn't want to, kind of lose the points or whatnot. But again, that kind of period there, it was overlooked because we had a lot of time messing around. There's a lot of clubs who were taking advantage of that time. And Man United could have been one of them. So that was another period where we kind of didn't play a game.
But there was no
pressure.
We
came back and we won a game, I think. I don't think we won a game.
No. Well, Saeed, there wasn't any pressure though, really, was there? There was no fans in the stadium to, if like we say, when things go bad, you hear the protests and everything, banners get taken to the stadium and everything about the ownership, Super League and everything happened, didn't it? What was happening? What was happening before the Super League? Nothing. Yeah. There was only probably us three that were chatting about it, where we were saying about ownership change needs to happen, structural changes need to be put in place. You need to remove people from these positions. They have sat there for far too long for all the bad that they've done. And like you say, when you take somebody out, you have to replace them. Listen, don't even bother about replacing someone like a Matt Judge. Matt Judge's role is nothing to do with football. It is financial based. It is a financial based role. A football negotiator is a financial based role. You might have an element of it might say football in the title. It doesn't mean you pick the players. You go out to Spain or wherever and you go and negotiate for Pau Torres. That's what it means. You go and meet the president of Villarreal and you say, right, this is our price. What's your price? Right, let's negotiate. That is what his job is.
100%.
This is not why we need to appoint someone like a Paul Mitchell, not to negotiate, to recruit, to find these players that we need.
Murto's doing all three at once, though. That's the problem.
This is apparently. Listen, big up Khalees. Khalees comes back in. Obviously, you saw Twitter going alight today. Getting into Giddy FC, innit? Giddy FC. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on to Giddy FC, wherever you are. It says Timber here. It's about Timber. Anthony are circulated to go with you, Tenhag. I think top clubs have Timber on their side. Anthony would go, and it would be a blow to Ajax because in their current squad, there's nobody to replace him. Cheeky. He's basically saying, you know,
so he might just leave. They might feel sorry for them.
Nah, he's saying it's a wrap, mate.
It's a wrap.
Because there was another question asked of him a week ago where it was like, have you signed a pre-deal with Ajax as a football club that you can't take any of the players? And he's like, no, I haven't. And I will never sign any such a deal. But anyway, listen, guys. We are way out. There's almost 150 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? We'll go. Saeed, I'm going to ask you, Saeed. Come to you with the next question.
Go for it.
Managing the expectations of the fan base.
Yeah.
Obviously, as somebody who was from the get-go saying, you know what? I don't believe in this Ollie business. I think
I don't think I'll ever get to that stage again. You know why I say that? Because a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, you're going to be the first one to be Tenhag out. Have you ever seen me come on here with Ralph Rangnick, ever gone mad at him or anything like that? Because I knew there's bigger problems here than Ralph Rangnick. The reason why I was so mad at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was because I see glaring problems, and because of the sentiment and because the whole feeling of Ole's a legend or whatnot, I feel like a lot of people got caught up in that and then they get to feel that we're declining in terms of football on the pitch. We're seeing it now. We're seeing
Do you know what, Saeed? I want to ask you one question about that when you were going on about everything with Ole, and it always stuck in my head. If he would have got rid of his coaching staff after that Europa League final, because we knew they were not good enough after that, don't we?
Absolutely.
If he would have got rid of that coaching staff and he would have brought in fresh people with fresh ideas who've actually done it at world level, the likes of your Rennie Mullenstein, your Carlos Queiroz, these proper people, would that have changed your opinion?
Not for me, though. In terms of opinion,
because we knew he didn't do the coaching. That's the thing that I'm trying to get.
Yeah. For me, me and Lord was on it. We wanted that in it. We was like, if anything helps Ole Gunnar Solskjaer perform better, we want that. We wanted that. For me, I never had an agenda on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was to win.
Yeah, of course.
And he wasn't helping that because I felt like it was
to play better football.
Boys as well.
That was your important.
And also, but I just felt like for me, it was jobs for the boys. It was kind of, you know, I felt like it was pally over there.
DNA
and DNA propaganda. Where now, all of a sudden, we never look who's bringing now. At least he's bringing in football people. You're looking at De Graaf. He's bringing in. He's even saying that we need even more coaches. He's not ruling out even more. So again, I see the kind of commitment towards that. I never seen it with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was like, you know what? We'll bring in Carrick from Mourinho's era. We'll bring in Phelan. You know what? You can help us out there. And it was McKenna from Joe. So all of them was from Jose's era. So for me,
that's what I mean.
I would play exactly. So that's where I came into it. There was not an element of wanting to succeed. It was a kind of use the short straw. And then again, similar to what they're doing now with Murto, really, when you look at it, he's been appointed within. He's been appointed within. So again, that's why I feel like I have my kind of doubts about that.
Your legendary comment there.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's always legendary. That
Tenhag for me, when I look at the picture of the fan base, I've realized the structure, I've realized everything, but I've also realized that, you know what, he needs at least now, if they can back him now, he's already got the coaching elements, and he's a coach first and foremost. Whereas Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what did he say? I'm just a manager. Whereas now we've got an actual coach.
We take responsibility how the team's going to play.
Responsibility. For me, I think personally, if Tenhag doesn't work, I think there's no hope after that. I mean,
burn it down.
Well, I don't know about burning, but at least I think, you know what? I think there's no hope because at the end of the day, I think United will go back to square one and probably end up getting Michael Carrick or something like that. Another DNA project. I'm telling you now because I'm telling you now, if this one fails, the fan base should absolutely have an uproar, because why can it fail? Why again is another manager failed? That's another thing as well. Not all on Ollie, by the way. They failed in terms of getting a CDM, but didn't Ollie want to CDM? That was another issue. But for me, they've got to get this right. The fan base, for once, have just got to sit back. Why do we as fans just keep going mad? The football club should be able to say, you know what? We're going to put this matter out of your hands and we're going to do this properly. We're going to back Tenhag, and then we can manage our expectations upon that. If they say,
100%.
right, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, it's going to be a young team, progressive football. It's going to take time. We'll say, you know what? Okay, then. Top 4, whatever it is, build it up step by step. It might be fixed. But if we see progressive football and we see that, okay, we're getting beat 4-3 at home. Okay, we don't want to lose, by the way, but we're seeing that it's entertaining, it's competitive.
You can tell your eyes don't lie to you,
Norridin.
Don't lie to you.
If you come out of that game, Norridin and Tom, and you know you've given everything in that game, but the game against Leicester, the game against Watford, Southampton, all these games where we haven't given anything, and yet we just got out with a draw. Players like, cool, no worries.
Exactly. Listen, the biggest thing is this as well. I'll say it to you guys. It's simple. Actually, Tom, I'll ask you the same question. I'll go to you. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah,
I'll go to you as well. Go ahead, Tom. Answer the question. What do you think? Do you think how much the expectation needs to be tampered around the Erik Ten Hag and the fact that everybody thinks he's the man who's going to change Manchester United?
Well, he's limited with what he can do, really, at the present time. We all know the importance of one-to-one coaching and one-to-one intervention. You need to be. You can work as a group collectively. You can go out on the training pitch. This is probably what he'll do for his first training session. Go out on the on the training field with his coaching staff. Introduce who his coaching staff are, because the players will know who he is by now. Right, this is Michel van der Gaag. This is Steve McLaren. You know, you already know who Eric is. Eric Ramsey, the set piece coach, and anybody else who wants to bring to the football club. He will do his whole introduction, but it's okay doing that as a group and as a collective. You need to improve players one-to-one. They need to have their own basic training methods. Like I said before about his basic principles of his priorities, with the critical conditioning, with the recovery process, with actually how you actually improve in terms of nutritionally wise. These are the key points that are built around getting a player to develop. Because it's okay, you can bring in a young player from 20 years old and whatnot. If they're not a good professional, they could be a party animal. Go out every night on the lash in Manchester, getting absolutely levered after a Saturday night win when they've won the game of football. Right, we're done now. Right, let's get dressed up. Let's go out and let's have a rave or whatever. That is some players, and I'm not just going to label some players. Manchester City players, we know who they are. Who are in that sort of circle, should we say? That is not the sort of players you need to be employing at a football club. You need professionals, people who you go to work, you go to war. Sorry, wrong word. You go to war at this football club. I don't like players who like each other. You shouldn't like each other in a dressing room. I don't think anyway. The biggest thing that I always go back to, and the biggest story I always go back to, was Roy Keane and Peter Schmeichel. They hated each other. They disagreed on most things regarding Man United.
There was the edge.
There was an edge though. But this is the thing. There was a balance there where we're on the football field, we work together. We're off the football field, we can do what we want. If we don't like each other, you don't like each other. It's as simple as that. And this is the sort of thing that I think Erik Ten Hag, I believe, and that what I want anyway. Give the man the time that he needs, because you cannot work anything without money, without time, and without patience. If you don't have either of those three things, you can do nothing at a football club. And like we all say, I think the best model that you can use, as much as we always go back to the same old point, is Liverpool. It is the best example you can use. Jurgen Klopp had the time to develop players, and then he's brought in young players into it, like the likes of your Trent Alexander-Arnolds, who was saved in money in the right-back position, for example. Andy Robertson, £5 million gem from Hull. These are the sort of things that Manchester United need to be doing. Not going around, scalping around after players who we might have been after 3 years ago, like a Paulo Dybala, who's washed up. I'm sorry. These are not the profile of players you need. You have to recruit either within, with your young players, or you recruit without, in terms of get your profile of player across. If you want a technical player, you get technical players.
Good.
What are we talking?
Set to leave Gundogan.
So Gundogan is leaving City, but it's not Man City channel. All you MTR fans, go ahead and support that. Big up Killers for breaking the news. But he was one of their best players last season.
That's two midfielders. Fernandinho's going as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're going to buy midfielders. So anybody thinking De Jong, why would De Jong choose Man United? There you go.
Pep Guardiola on the blower. Don't worry about it.
That's putting out. Listen, but big up Arun. Arun's part of the Giddy Army, innit? You know, I've done this show to rein in a lot of the people who are getting a bit too giddy for my liking. So big up Arun.
What do you think anyway, Nuruddin? What do you think?
So
you give us your point.
Listen, so big up Arun. Arun's like Eric equals the king and Giddy FC. So that's what Arun is saying. But big up Arun. The biggest thing for me is the fact that no man has ever changed a football club by himself unless he was given the power to do so, unless he was backed. The idea that for me that the expectation needs to be tamed because the evidence, to me, I can only go on past evidence. I can't go and predict the future. I can only go on past evidence. I'm sorry. Back to reality.
You know, you should have an album, you know.
You should, yeah, you actually should, you know. That's the funny thing.
Get Earthan on and get an album ready and do it.
A lot of people in it.
Come on, you know what I mean? Let them know how many songs have you got in the playlist.
Yo, it is what it is. Listen, the biggest thing is this for me.
Remember, I got 5 on it at the start of the season. After leave.
I got 5.
How we started. How is ending?
we need a football timeline.
How it went
and
how it finished. Yeah. We're in the mud. So the biggest thing for me is about empowering the person, but also making sure that there's no backstabbing and that there's none of these access journalists. So the first thing what it needs to be done, to me, if this Myrto sexual massive, if they're serious, if Myrto's serious, he's gonna cut the umbilical cord. That is feeding these journals, these access journalists. At the end of the day, get rid of them. Get rid of Neil Ashton. None of them do that PR anymore. Let the football club, the football and the pitch do the PR. That's enough PR itself, right? And none of them stabbing in the back business, because to me, you're just hanging the manager out to dry yet again. And the biggest thing why I'm letting the fans know is that it's about his targets. It's about the caliber of player. It's about how he's backed in January, if he needs to be backed in January. It's how he backed next summer. If he wants to find out certain players' character, and it takes him a season to get to know certain players and go, you're not the guy. So it's about those things. But everything Man United have not done, I'm yet to believe that, about Mertens. Where? Merto's been there for 10 years as well, people. Yes, he's not been in this position, but he's been in that. He's had some serious positions. He's done some good work in the youth. He does some good work initially. Listen to me, good work initially with the women's team, and then escape them in it. Then we're like,
but nobody wants to talk about that, by the way.
My name's not Merta. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying to you. Your boy. What's that, man? Can't answer that. Can't answer that, mate. They go, well, it was the Glazer funding. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day. And also, Myrtle was part of the team that gave Ollie 3-year contract as well.
And that's the biggest one. But then, you know what he said to me? He goes, well, that could have been pre-planned.
Pre-planned FC. Here we go. Pre-planned.
You know what, right? Do you know what, right, though? It's funny you say that. Do you know with all these contracts, for anybody who does want to know anyway, it was actually signed before the Europa League final.
Yeah, of course.
It was just never announced.
March, though, Tom, he came in March, Myrto.
There we go.
Yeah.
MMS, mate. Myrto, muscular sexuals. MMS, mate. Big up to the MMS army. Listen, I want always MMS army. You can bring it. No problem. I'm always Glazers at 24/7, 7 days a week, every minute, every second. We're always that. Anyway.
There are changes though, which again
there are changes, but we will see what the fruits of those changes bear. But after a bad defeat, leaking the changes out strategically, like throwing two guys after win, like that. Jim Lawler? He's not been relevant. He's not been used. He's not been listened to for about 3-4 years. So all of a sudden, then. He gets sacked like, ooh, look at this.
Honestly, why, and Tom, why did they never do this after a win? Why did they never produce stories after a win? Have you noticed that?
They always save it.
They save it, and then they were like...
And that's what I'm saying to you. That's why what gives me the...
You know, that you've got to stage this departure. Exactly. So you're leaving.
Yeah, it's in the archives. Don't worry about it.
They keep it, honestly, it's like they keep it a lot. Neil Ashton's like, don't sack anybody. Let me sort out the script. Let me write the script first.
Get the official announcement, lads, before we do it.
swear to God, it's like an episode of EastEnders combined with Curry, mate. I'm telling you.
But do you know the difference though, right? The difference between us and soap opera, they can actually keep their leaks internally. Man United Football Club can never. That is the only problem.
Oh, he's hunting.
What's going on? What's going on?
And I go ahead, Tom. Sorry, repeat that bit again.
Yeah.
So Saeed rattled by the cat, isn't it? So Saeed has to put his hands on the table because if he puts them by his side, or he goes into his pocket. So he was just asking me where the cat's. He checks his phone or checks his pocket.
I'm telling you, man.
Anyway, go ahead.
No. What I said was with the soap opera where you were going about EastEnders.
Yeah, EastEnders and
the only difference though about it is they can actually keep their leaks. We leak like a sieve. That is how Man United work. We leak like an absolute sieve. But you know the funny thing, right? When you look at Liverpool, when you look at City, when Pep Guardiola and Klopp went there, they was exactly the same. Quotes were coming out from players. We're not happy with the training. We're not happy with the coaching. Blah blah blah. Do you hear anything now? Do you ever hear a player mouth a bad word about Jurgen Klopp or Liverpool? Never.
Look at Origi. Never plays, but then always gets his position. You know what I mean?
This is what I mean. They know their place, though. This is the thing. They know their place within the squad.
And the thing about it is that they know if Klopp says that player needs to be gone, then the club are backing him.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? But United, you don't get back there. The players then go and leak to their favorite journalists and their agents, and then next minute the story goes and spins. But listen, I'm going to come to one of the last questions that I had in my title. It's the fact that for Man United, we already know, all of us can see, right, that this squad needs discipline. It needs discipline, right? The question is, would Tenhag and his coaching staff get the backing from the top to enforce that discipline?
This is it.
So I ask you first, Saeed.
This is the problem, man. For me, it's about communication now. Is Tenhag going to be able to communicate with this so-called new structure, the new board? You know, Richard Arnold is here now. Is he able to effectively communicate with this new board? You know, is Myrtle going to be that middleman? Is he going to be the right middleman? Could United have got Paul Mitchell involved with and ease the kind of recruitment that what do you call it, Myrtle has to do? You know, these are level. I think for me, I have to have hope because again, what can you have? There isn't much. Even if you say to yourself, "I'm going to be pessimistic about it," you're still going to lose, aren't you? So the only thing you can do is just have hope. I personally think that Ten Hag's going to come in and demand more. I think Ralph Rangnick had an element of respect. He couldn't really ask for much, even though he did remember. Did you see he wanted a striker? Is that not a further sign to say, you know what? Is Ten Hag going to get really what he wants when he's really? Because I don't know what's going to happen with the Greenwood situation. Obviously, that one's to remain to be seen. Martial, is he going to be kept? Are they going to look at Martial and think, are you going to be the one to unlock Martial? Are you going to be the only one to unlock this player? Rashford, is he going to be giving him time? Because there's a lot of situations that has to be put to Ten Hag and says, right, are these players good enough? If it's up to me, I'd sell these lot. But it's up to the club, because the club have the final say, by the way. If the club say, no, we want you to still nurture Martial and Rashford, that's where the problem is. The club and Myrtle have to say, you know what? Rashford and Martial, see you later. I say, you know what? We're going to take this problem out of you. They've got to make sure, as much as Ten Hag's in control, they've got to make sure they come in and just take the problem away from someone. What a better feeling if someone says to you, right, Nordin, don't worry, I've got this.
Boom.
That's it. You're sorted. You don't have to worry. And that's what Ten Hag does.
Concentrate
on the football. Why does he have to do 1,000 million stuff? It gets to the point, and it gets to the point where he gets toxic because what happened to Mourinho? He tried to control the club. He tried to actually come out and say, heritage, and I've won 3 trophies. What have they lot won? I've still done this, and I've done this.
We don't care, mate. You were other clubs when you were doing that.
No, but I'm just trying to say to you that he tried to battle a lot of demons, which he couldn't battle. And then ultimately the club was like, nah, man, we can't do this.
Nah, to be fair, to tell that story a bit, it was he lived in a hotel side. I always told you that he lived in a hotel. And then what Mourinho did, Mourinho played Matt Judge and Woodward like absolute like a fiddle. He played them, mate. He was putting it out to the brief there through his mercenary journalist that, oh, my son goes to watch Paris Saint-Germain. Paris is a nice city. Then they all started panicking because he's been pressuring them for a new contract. Then they were like, sign the contract. 3 months later.
Yep.
History, that's what the history is.
History.
But I ask you, Tom, for me, we might as well forget about it. At the end of the day, that the players throw in the manager under the bus.
Yep.
Especially a manager that's got a proven track record that's on the up, not a Mourinho that's a has been. Let's be all honest here. Let's be honest here. By the time Jose came to us, he was flushed. He was flushed in terms of elite. He won a League Cup, and then he counts that he's so flushed. He counts the.
He talks about it again.
Listen, he talks about the bloody charity community shield, which is just a pre-season game.
Because you know why though?
That's a trophy.
Because this is what the Super Cup in Spain, and they count it more as a trophy.
Damn.
That's why it's called the charity shield.
Damn.
You know what? It's a pre-season game, right? So that's what he counts it. That's how much flushed he is. This is the guy that was winning Champions League. And
nobody doesn't like Jose, by the way.
Listen, it's not about that. You know what? I didn't like the football. I'm sorry. I have nothing against Jose. I think he's a funny guy, personally. But his football now, Jose's football was the worst, man. Jose's football was the worst. Van Gaal was at times. But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
But where does his discipline gonna come from? And the reason why I'm asking this question, all these Myrtle Madness crew, why is Myrtle not doing that already on the Ralph, saying to the players, stop leaking? You're getting out of this football club. I'm going to put you on transfer list.
He's not in control of that, Nuruddin.
Why is he not in control of it? Why is he in control of it? You can't have it both ways. You know that.
Player development before, you know that.
Yeah, but you can't have it both ways, though.
Well, they want it both ways.
You can't have your eat and cake, and then, you know what? You can't get your cake and eat it, bro. You can't have your cake as well, mate. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't do that. But I'll ask you where is this discipline going to come from? To me, it always comes from the owners, the board, and it goes down it. That the hierarchy needs to be built because the players are too indisciplined. I see, like I said to you, Aaron's seen him twice. I've seen him twice or 3 times, even more. I see Juan Bissaka outside Chick-fil-A's, man. I'm not throwing him under the bus, but it's a fact. The kid comes to United, thinks he's made it. No, Man United is the opportunity for you to develop even more, mate. Not a place where you go, that's it. And too many players do that. And then the other day, somebody sent me a photo of this guy who's supposed to have tonsillitis. Next minute, he's walking around Paris. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I won't mind when we're winning, mate. When we're winning, yes. But when the club is in a disarray, don't be doing that, lad. So it is what it is. I know players have a life. I know it's not just all about the football. I understand that. But just be careful. Like, when the club is in a disarray, be careful, mate. Because you're not even on the pitch. You're like going on extended holidays. But Tom, where is that going to have to come from? That's my question. And would like Saeed broke it down. Who's going to take those level of problems off of Tenhag?
Well, I have always said that I would appoint people from independent backgrounds. Nobody who has an affiliation or association with this football club whatsoever. This is where you get, might not be everybody's cup of tea, your Andy O'Boyles, your Paul Mitchells of this world. Somebody who's had no affiliation with this football club at all. Nothing. They've not had a text message, had a job interview, had nothing ever to do with this football club. You need independent people inside this football club, because the one thing that they bring new ideas that you probably won't even know. I know of something with Paul Mitchell anyway, and I'll give you a bit of an update on Paul Mitchell for those who want to know anyway, who haven't actually heard anything that I've been given in the last couple of hours anyway about Paul Mitchell. I'll get onto that. But like you just said there about who's going to discipline these sort of decisions and stuff, well, it has to come within. You are not going to have somebody who's going to turn up day one of their job and say, right, this is how we're going to do it. You have a new CEO in charge, Richard Arnold. Does he honestly, let's be honest, right? He might be the people who's hiring and firing people. All I've seen at the moment, he's been firing people. I've not seen him hire one person. Murto hired Ralph Ragnick. Murto hired Erik Tenhag and all his coaching staff now. He brought in Chris Amos for Ralph Ragnick. He brought in Ewan Sharp for Ralph Ragnick. He's brought in Michel van der Gaak and Steve McLaren now for Erik Tenhag. This is all Murto. I've not heard. I don't honestly know what Richard Arnold is doing. I honestly do not know. And you know something? I think that's a good thing that we don't know what he's doing, because at least he's not going to be near the footballing operations. If you don't hear his name, he's clearly not having any sort of influence on footballing decisions.
But his backing is important, though, Tom. His backing.
I know his backing is important.
It's important.
Yeah, I know his backing's important, but for him not to have a say in the decision makings over the football matters. I don't care about the finances. Listen, go and do your commercial. 100%. Go and do your commercial thing. Go down to the offices in London and go and run them. And let John Murtough or somebody dictate what happens upstairs at the football club at Old Trafford. That is how you should do it. You should have somebody who runs the shop down London, which is what I've said for years. That's Ed Woodward's role. London-based, operating as a corporate expert for the Manchester United group in London. That was his job, not Manchester United CEO. Manchester United CEO, we know the great CEOs of football. Edwin van der Sar is a perfect one. Could you ever honestly see Manchester United ever giving a manager a farewell where they go on the football field? They talk all this positivity around what that man's done for the football club. No, we do it through social media. We do it through Twitter. That is how Manchester United say goodbye to people. They don't do these things where you go into the football field with a microphone and actually voice things tonight to 60,000 people in front of the stadium. You don't do it. But anyway, do you want me to give you that update on Paul Mitchell and that? Yeah. What got told anyway? These are the official quotes anyway. The Paul Mitchell talks have stalled in recent days over key figures behind the scenes of the football club, opposing to his recruit young, develop better motto, which is a standout part of his recruitment policy. Which has now sparked controversy within the decision makers over whether he's the right man for the global scouting role at Manchester United. So there you go. Make of that what you will, Ferry Piama.
Yeah. That's it, breaking. You know what Tom just keeps it 100, mate. He keeps it 100.
But this goes to show you there's still the ineptitude of
that's what I'm saying to you about Murtough madness. I'm like, just keep quiet, people. He's setting his subs to fail. Because trust me.
But then there's going to be a pressure on John Murtough to deliver everything when in reality he can't do it.
He can't.
He doesn't have the expertise.
But this is what I mean. One man can't do it.
He needs people even to work under him who are experts with what they're doing. Who can do the job. For me, because he's learning on the job.
Now he's got.
You need other people who are competent around you.
He's head of recruitment now. He's chief of scout. He's all this now.
No, he's got the scouts, but he's overseeing everybody.
In terms of the guy who makes the transfers now. Who did you say the other guy was?
Matt Judge, yeah.
Matt Judge.
Now
Richard Arlos told John Murtough, right, you take control of that.
Yeah. So
basically, that's 2-in-1 job, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, this is what I'm trying to say, people, man. It's crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, it could be. I know Chelsea want him. I mean, the Chelsea owners, apparently, they want to make him a director of football.
Yeah, Todd Bowley likes him, yeah.
But listen, to me, this accountability is a question. Yeah. It's a question. Two things I wanted to cover with this podcast today, with all you here. Please, there's 150 of you watching.
Subscribe and like, man.
Subscribe to the channel. Like. Make sure those of you who've not watched, go over straight after this. Go over to Saeed TV. Make sure you watch the straight jacket. You get the straight jacket and then the therapy afterwards. You see the bit of the madness, bit of the calm on here. That's what we do. But to be fair, both channels, we keep it 100.
Absolutely.
And here, the biggest thing for me to say that Saeed's 300 away. 50,000 is the absolute monumentous, significant number of followers because he shows you for all the flaks that he takes, none of the clickbaitery stuff that he does. He's grafting day in, day out. So at least he deserves that. So please make sure you subscribe to his channel. And by hopefully next week, we should be at least 200 or 100 away. And we can do the countdown. We can do the countdown. But by the end of the season, people, let's just do it. Okay. Let's just get him to 50,000. I wanted to answer. I think I just wanted to wrap up towards the end, right? The closing statements from both of you is that I wanted to talk about the patience of the fans. I wanted to talk about the expectation of the fans that where this man has got this magic wand and he's got to come on, sort it all out, and just you know what I mean, moving like Harry Potter. Ain't gonna happen. The second part of it is that the backing is very important. If he's gonna install any discipline, like he said, if you're gonna look in the eyes of somebody. But then they're wearing shades, you know what I mean? They're like that. Then you can't see through their eyes. And there's too many backstabbers, there's too many leeches. But I don't blame the players because the players don't put themselves on that football pitch. There are people decisions made to buy these type of characters, these players who can take the mix. So for me, accountability is not going to just be on Tenhag, it's the whole club as a football club. So if there's no accountability, it's almost like he's got to coach upwards in the boardroom and he's got to coach downwards as well. It's weird, but we can't have a manager doing that. It's too much for one person to do that. So there's going to have to be significant changes in the mentality of the owners and the board. Am I right or wrong, Tom?
No, you're correct. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So this for me, That's why I can't get on the Giddy FC train. I'm sorry. It's all lovely and that when news is breaking, but we've been here with that before. How many times have we been here, guys? How many times?
We've been backstabbed. We've been.
How many times have we been here?
That's a problem. I think the biggest one is changing the culture, changing the environment, and hopefully the fans have to get on board, man. Because if they don't, then I feel like for me, you're just gonna end up just
exactly.
You just have to get with it, man. And for me, it'll be a slow process. But again, I think we can hope, man. We can hope with Tenhag. That's the main thing. There's some light at the end of the tunnel.
I just want to get this. Ade, listen. Paul Mitchell doesn't have to take to be director assistant or director of football. He can just be global. That's the thing it's about recruitment. You could have head of recruitment, director of football, and then you can have a football operations guy. You can still have that. So all these roles are available. They're in different clubs. They mean different things. But Paul Mitchell is not coming to come and work on the John Murtagh. He will be somebody who's talking about totally head of a totally different department in terms of being head of recruitment. Okay? So please just know that. And the thing about Paul Mitchell, he's done it at the football clubs. He's been a director of football. He's been head of operations. He's been head of recruitment. Yep. He has been.
Yep. So he's coming with the pedigree.
Exactly.
He's not coming in with no pedigree.
Yeah, he's got the CV answer. I guess that's what.
Exactly. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm glad that some of the fan base are getting excited. But me personally, I can't allow myself. I don't know about Saeed. Saeed has already burned the 2 cards.
I'm one of them now. Show me, and then we could go to somewhere. But if you can't show me,
Saeed's like, show me the money.
Show me the money.
and then you offer the case. It's monopoly.
The money.
If you go rolling.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Saeed's like. Show me the money, mate. Show me the money. But Tom. Where do you stand on the Giddy FC agenda? Am I too pessimistic? Am I too negative, as a lot of social media says? Or am I just being realistic, saying, listen, man, just be careful, people?
Well, let's be honest. What is there to be positive about? I know it's a simple thing to say, but what is there? Seriously. Do these? I'm sorry, right? Just the fans, the people at the football club honestly think you appoint the manager that the fans wanted and suddenly it's going to turn all this magic around? No. Same thing when they bought the players last summer. I always go back to the same point. Same when they bought the 3 superstar players that everybody's wanted. We all wanted a world-class centre-back. We got it with Varane. We all wanted the generational talent with Sancho. We all got, behind the legendary status that is Cristiano Ronaldo. And suddenly the Super League, it was as if it never happened. It blew over like a bit of dust.
Yeah, man.
And it's the same thing with the fan base, really. I don't criticise fans or everything. Listen, everybody has their own opinion of how they see or they look at football. That's why when people came out and said about why didn't we go for Conte and all these things like the other, I understood why people said why we should go for him. It's not that I do. It's not that because I didn't agree with it. I don't think it's a bad decision. Listen, everybody has their own opinion in football, and that's the one thing that rotates, I guess, around football is opinion. Because everybody is different in their own way of what they actually believe or what they actually think. But like with the fan base and everything, it's the same. I mean, with this quote here, with regarding Paul Pogba and everything, I don't know how many times Paul Pogba has been brought up for the last 3-4 years that he's leaving the football club. If you don't want to be here, it's simple. The door is there. Because there's going to be somebody that you can replace easily, either in the youth team or you just go and buy them. It's as simple as that.
This is it, Tom. And anyway, this is somebody saying, big up Shogun Shatti here. He says, Juventus CEO, Paul Pogba, he's the Man UFC player, so I respect him and his team. Pogba's agency also have Keane, so that's the youngster.
Moise Keane, yeah.
Moise Keane. Pellegrini, and normally we meet. Pogba was not at all the subject. Yeah, we know. Listen, at the end of the day, it's what it is. Listen,
United are trying to do something.
Listen, I'm just going to give you 2 bits of football-related news. I want to big up Jake Daniels, Blackpool forward. It's the first actively gay professional to ever come out as a gay. So I want to send him love and solidarity because human beings are human beings, mate. You ain't here to change. You believe what you believe. You live the way you live. So don't be bothering. But the young kid is taking a brave stance. So big up to him. And the other big thing is that Boris Johnson slams down Jurgen Klopp for defending the Liverpool fans, booing the national anthem.
I heard this as well.
What did he say?
He said something around about if they have a reason for it. They wouldn't
Yeah,
just
of
do it.
course, of course. You know what? Listen, Liverpool's hated by the Tories anyway, and the establishment. We hate it. I'm a United fan. People forget that United fans, majority of England fans, used to sing "Stand up if you hate Man U." They don't like us or Liverpool because we're two big clubs. We don't need to be attached to England to be in England, and they hate us for that. So at Liverpool, it goes political because 96, 97 people lost their life, man. 96 people, 97 lost their life. You know, they lost their life.
Big up Tom, man.
Big up Tom, man. He just jumped out. But they lost their life in the thing. And the government and establishment try to bury it. They buried it. So solidarity with Liverpool,
If
man.
Liverpool have their reasons.
Putting rivalries aside, people, this is about humanity.
Yeah.
I recognize the humanity of Liverpool fans who went to a football game and never came home. And in the whole country, the whole establishment, the political elite, the whole establishment, the elites, all blame them for it. So, nah, mate. I respect and big up Liverpool fans, man. I say that. I'll back Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Decide when it comes to this, I'm backing. Who you backing? Boris and the elites and the establishment, or Liverpool?
Or Liverpool, yeah.
Liverpool, mate. Sorry, Liverpool win that.
It's crazy.
And by the way, like I said to you, like for me in this channel, everybody's welcome. It's an inclusive space. So everybody, regardless what your gender, sexuality, whatever it is, you're welcome. And we stand solidarity with Jake Daniels. Because for him to do that, to be the first ever footballer to come out and say that, now there's going to be chants, there's going to be horrible things towards him. So I hope that he knows that he's got the backing. So if any of you on social media, please go and give him a like or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just support solidarity, because that's what's important, people. That's what's important. Always go against the grain. See the humanity of people, regardless of their gender, sexuality, their color, their creed, their ethnicity. That's what we do, mate. That's what we do. And like he said here, Shabeta, 50K party where?
Come on,
well,
man.
You know what? You get there and then you'll be told, bro.
You'll know.
Man. Trust me.
Man. Appreciate it, man.
Trust me.
Everybody.
But please smash a like on the video. Tom, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Appreciate it. Big up to yourself. Thank you for that analysis, especially with the Paul Mitchell news.
Paul Mitchell,
It's really important.
Yeah, no problems.
But big up, bro. And then hopefully we'll catch you in the next one. But I might do a call-in show, but not like last time. You know what I mean? If I don't see the face,
no case.
No case, babe.
No case.
You know what? You can call him, but we don't see the face. You can't make your case, mate.
Yeah.
I don't see the face. You can't make your case. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. But there we go. Mate. We gotta just sing out because we always sing in it on here.
Here we go.
It's Comedy FC, but we're gonna go with Giddy FC today. Giddy FC. Here we go. Here we go. Getting too giddy FC. Here we go. You're getting a bit too giddy for my liking. But big up one of the number one Giddy Army supporters out there, Arun. We can coexist. This is the therapy army. Everybody can come here. Yeah. Like I said, even we disagree, we respectfully disagree. So everybody can come, right? And those of you who are always coming at me, don't throw like a stone and then live in a glass house when I come back at you. Those of you who understand will understand, yeah? But those of you who come at me on social media, who call me negative and that, all I did was talk about Andy O'Brien and I said, it's John Mater's boy. He's again jobs for
Andy O'Boyle.
Andy O'Boyle. Yeah, Andy O'Boyle. And I said that, and people were coming at me, and I'm like, listen, I'm pointing out the fact. The facts are there. It's not me who's inventing them. That's what the facts are. He's a fitness and coaching guy, working for the Premier League as a performance guy. All of a sudden, he's going to be learning on the job, another director of football. Nah. Nah, mate. You know what I mean?
Jobs for the boys, lads. We said it.
The doesn't just fit. The glove don't fit OJ, mate. Forget about Kendrick Lamar, mate. By the way, check out the Kendrick Lamar album, mate. Right. I know there's people who don't like him, but trust me, Kendrick is like me, mate, dropping truth and gems, and people can't take it.
There you go.
So you know, Kendrick, like Tom, like me, like he's telling it as it is, mate. He's literally, it's like a therapeutic album, telling everybody, yo, doing this craziness. That ain't the culture, man. The culture is beautiful. The culture is bigger than you and all of us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Kendrick, so Kendrick is telling us it is, but we sign out people. You know what? They check out. He's got a track. One of the first tracks is United in Grief. United fan, I bled it out. Breaking news. It's called United in Grief. Where we definitely are being united. We have been united, and we're united, and we're all grieving, aren't we? But big up, Glazers out, Bankers out, every one of those muppets in the club out who are not. Definitely. Jim Ratcliffe in all day, every day. Bankers out, Glazers out.
Peace.
Jim Radcliffe,
Peace.
5 billion. You've got 17. 5.
We got 5 on.
You can think now. You can put 5 billion to the Glazers. And you could make billions, almost 2 billion people in the world happy. Right? Look at that. You can make 2 billion people almost. Make it happen, Jim. Go on, Jim. Go on, Jim, lads. Get in there, Jim. Come on, lads. Somebody clip that and send it to him. Peace, love, light. Thank you, Tom. And thank you, Saeed.
Come on, man. Always love.
Let them know.
Always.
You going on the Big Six tonight?
No, tomorrow night because the Arsenal game's on tonight. So it'll be tomorrow night.
Saeed's going to be there going,
He's getting ready, innit? Look at the hands. The hands.
We're ready. We're ready.
Get roasted our Turkish.
Listen, we don't worry, man. Tomorrow, people. I think they're drawing tonight. At least they're getting at least a draw.
I'm telling you now, Saeed is coming with some shades and some Turkish outwear to some Turkish wear, mate. Some Turkish delights, mate. Big up to my brother Turkish, by the way. He's become part of the Giddy FC, hasn't he? He's become part of the Giddy. He used to be like me. He used to be their counterpart like me. Apparently, everybody tells me you're legal and just like you and legal. I'm like, listen, there's only one me, people. But let's not put it that way, innit? But majority of people are not ready for me. You know what I mean? And Saeed and Tom. But we love you.
Peace, man.
It's light. Keep it locked. Saeed TV. Keep it locked. To United Real Therapy. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And you can follow Tom Journalist 1. On Twitter, people. Saeed TV.
Come on.
All across social media. Love, light, take care, Glazers out, bankers out always. Jim Radcliffe in. There we go. We'll leave you with that comment. Radcliffe in. Go on, lad. Let's be having you. Peace.
Peace.